So, our time is up. Louise, with no further ado, would you like to introduce today's guest speaker?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to give a bit of a background, really. Now more than ever, businesses are using video to communicate with their target audience. And looking confident and presenting well on video has never been more important, as we all know. So whether that's a Facebook Live or a scheduled Zoom meeting, confidence and clarity of message are really probably two of the most important things now in video marketing. Today's BizHub guest speaker has been chosen to help you improve your video presentation skills and give you some really useful and probably more importantly, actionable steps to help you create impactful video content. Video content that delivers your message and makes your target audience sit up, pay attention, and really take action. She trained as a coach in 2005 and delivered her first training session after a client for her massage business persuaded her to speak to 80+ people. She's also an international public speaker and the author of Stop Shoulding, Start Wanting, and also the co-author of an international #1 bestsellers, Pay It Forward series, Notes to My Younger Self, Volume 2, and Transformation Lessons. And she's also a member of the Association of Transformational Leaders of Europe. Wow. So using her skills as a classically trained actress, voice vibration sound healer, massage therapist, and qualified life coach, she has helped so many business owners grow in confidence and build their business using their authentic voice. Without any further ado, I'm pleased to introduce to you today's guest speaker, Judith Quin.
Hello!
Judith.
Hello! Hello!
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what an amazing introduction. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to delve straight in to the importance of speaking in a way where that you will be connected to who you really are, to what you are passionate about, so that you can speak to your audience through the camera without that horrible fear, the gump, the thoughts, the uncertainty of, oh God, I hate what I look like on camera, I hate what I sound like, all of that stuff that comes up. So hello to everyone, hello to those of you who I've met in the past. Sheila, I saw you popping up saying a hello there, and I look forward to, in the next session, having the interaction with you, getting to know you. If you have any questions that come up in this part of the thing, write them down or post them in the Q&A box for Gareth to collate, and we will address them in the next session. So if anything comes up for you, that's great. And then in the next session, you'll also have the worksheet. So some of the questions that I'm asking in this presentation, they're to get your brain sort of pre-prepared for your worksheet. So don't worry about writing answers to them during this presentation, but they will start getting your brain thinking. That's the plan anyway. So what I am going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Thankfully, I've been using Zoom for a couple of years now, so I am getting there nice and efficiently with what we have. So this is me. I am Judith Quin with one N. Yes, it is spelt right. It's a whole Irish Catholic Protestant divide thing, and bizarrely my Catholic family have the Protestant version of the name. Whatever. So there we go. It is spelled correctly. And my business is your whole voice. It's your voice. That's what matters. It's not about me. It's about you finding your voice. And it's your whole voice because it's about you being connected to the whole of who you are. Like both Stuart and Louise were talking about authenticity. And it's very easy when we are speaking in front of people or in front of a camera to go into a mode where you feel...
Sorry, Judith, can I just interrupt? The mic is quite crackly. We've had a few people saying the mic is a little bit crackly, so...
Let me adjust. So
I just don't want you to carry on. So sorry, everybody, but we just want to get the sound right.
Well, I have next to me, because this is the joy, right? This is what we do.
Yeah.
This is part of being prepared. So sometimes my laptop mic is good, and this is a great lesson for you guys. So sometimes your laptop mic will work, sometimes it won't. And we'll come on to this later in the presentation, actually, about mics that are good to use. So hopefully this mic is improving things. Is that better? Stuart, you've still got your...
I can hear you. Can you just talk a little bit? And
so hopefully this mic is a little better. Hopefully the connection, I'll just have a little look in, what are people saying in the chat?
Yeah, is that good for everyone?
That's already better. Sarah's saying yes, 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 better.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Back over to you.
But this is a great, we're jumping forward a few slides, but this is a great thing for you to know. So the mic I've got here, it's not a posh mic. It's just, in fact, I will stop sharing my screen so that you can see. It's just the mic that comes with the phone. So you don't need, if one of your things we're going to come to in just a second is, oh, but I don't have the equipment. It's something as simple as the mic on the earphones that come with your phone.
Sorry, Judith, it's crackling again. Maybe it's where the angle it's at or something.
It might be, or it could just be my dodgy internet, but I am plugged in on the Ethernet. So
okay.
That's...
With it hanging down, it seems fine. It's when you lift it up.
I won't lift it up. There we go. All is well. And this is great, right? So we're getting feedback. So feedback is really important. And asking for feedback when you do your videos or your lives is really key. So I am on a mission in my business, and my mission is to transform the lives of more than 100 million people by creating more confident, connected communicators. Now that's a big number, right? So I'm not expecting to work one-on-one with 100 million people. But the people who I work with, so say I work with you, I help you become more confident. You go out there after this presentation and you're having more interaction with your clients. So you're making more of a difference. So all those people whose lives you're making a difference to, I'll put them into my 100 million. So that's how it works. So do you have, so Emma's getting bad crackling. There's not much more I can do about this.
Is it the connector?
No, because that's still. This is annoying. Bear with me just a second. Let me try. I do have another one of these. I will just be.
Thanks for bearing with us, but I want to get it right to make sure that the lessons are learned very, very well. But again, this is a learning experience. We have a technical meeting before the hub, and Judith's equipment was flawless, absolutely flawless. We do a mic test and video test, obviously, and had no issues whatsoever. And the first week that I did a Zoom hub, my screens kept switching off. So I was doing it completely blind. I couldn't see any of the slides. So it happens. You just have to be prepared for it. Make sure you've got a backup plan, and your backup plan also has a backup plan. In fact, we did a whole hub on planning and looking at risk, and we've got a session about risk coming up in May, I do believe. So all of this is learning and is understanding, and even the most professional, highest achieving people, their problems occur, and they come along and you learn from them. So thanks that Judith is so well prepared. She's got alternatives to her alternatives.
I do, and I even have another alternative if this one doesn't work. Okay. So this one allows me to still hear you, Stuart, and Louise, and Gareth, if you need to speak to me. My other alternative doesn't, so I'll need to be able to swap. So how's this one going for people?
That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. I'll hand back to you.
And thank you, Simi. I am showing you how to remain calm and engaged and not get flustered. So here we go. You see, there's a lesson in everything. And it is about people will understand. So if something goes wrong for you, especially during a live, if you're recording, obviously you can just stop and come back and do it again. But especially in a live presentation, whether that is online or whether that is in person, you know, everyone there understands as long as you tell them what's happening. So we'll come to that a little bit later. But so my mission here, and do you have a mission? So this is the reason I'm sharing my mission with you, is because I have clarity of purpose. And when we have clarity, then it's much easier for people to understand what we're doing. So do you have a mission? Do you have a vision for your business that you can connect to and share with your audience? So my mission is to transform the lives of more than 100 million people. And I do that by empowering you to speak with confidence, having discovered your voice, and being able to express your truth. So what you know to be true about your business, how it impacts people's lives, so that you can speak with ease. And that is no matter the situation.
Sorry, Judith, sorry to jump back in.
It's a buffering thing.
We think it's actually a Zoom issue. Do you mind leaving the session and coming back in? And
no, I can do that.
Trying to reconnect, because we think it's actually Zoom and not you. So we've been getting you to do stuff, and it wasn't you.
That's all right. And I'm deliberately connected to the Ethernet, so I'm not on Wi-Fi. I can't improve that anymore. So I shall go. I shall come back, and I will leave you all there, right. Tantalizing, thinking about your mission. What is your mission for your business? Excellent.
So sorry about that, folks. It's one of those technical issues that occurs from time to time. Thanks for the feedback, Graham. Much appreciated. And Judith will be back momentarily. But,
well, you're just lucky because you get a bit more airtime with us.
But yes, it just goes to prove that even with the best laid plans, you know, we've been planning a session, and we've engaged with Judith, and we tested all the equipment, and it, you know, even the worst thing, even the best laid plans can turn out bad. But you know, it's one of those things. What can we do? We're all learning about this new wonderful world of technology, and who knows, this may actually force people to invest in better technology. You know, the providers like Zoom, they're seeing a massive growth in their business.
Yeah.
I heard that they've sort of something like 50% more users in less than 2 weeks.
Did anybody buy shares in Zoom before this happened? Just saying.
Well, there was a conspiracy theory that Zoom created the pandemic. So,
well,
who knows?
We have had a question, and Gareth, it's for you. I think Graham Vowles has asked if we could have a list of all participants on the call. Is that something we can do or not? I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
We'll look into that one, Graham, and come back.
And what we'll also do is I will go to no video background, because that takes energy. So, shall we give it another go?
That's sounding good now, Judith. Good.
Okay.
Let's give it another go and see where we get.
Let's give it another go. Let's see where we are. And even if it's these, I can do it without these if we need to. So here we are. So this is what today is about. It's about how to speak to a camera like you're speaking to a human being. And it's the thing that happens is very often people see the camera lens and freak out and freeze up. So what is it for you that is the distancing that happens when you see the camera lens rather than an eye? If you can, and I love this picture because it really shows how similar the lens and an eye are. And it's about that thing of remembering that on the other side of the camera, there are human beings. So you are still speaking to people. And that, as an actress, you should, no, actually, I was going to say you should have seen my first few attempts on camera, but really you shouldn't, because quite frankly, they were hideous and abysmal. So the camera loves you, darling, but how do you see yourself? This is really key, because we have the subconscious beliefs going on in our head around what we think other people might be thinking of us. So all your stuff that you maybe don't even really know is there may well come up. Now, those of you who've seen me speak before, you know that I believe that all speaking is public speaking. So it doesn't matter whether you are speaking to a camera, whether you are speaking to someone at a networking meeting. When you are expressing your inner thoughts, ideas, feelings, and opinions, you are speaking in public. You are sharing that. And that is what being on camera, talking about your business with confidence, particularly right now at this time, where we can't go out and be in person and have those connections. It's really important that the gremlins in the back of your mind are not taking control, because you still need to be able to make those connections, to have that relationship with the people who are watching your video that you're putting up, watching the lives that you're doing. And you know, Julie's saying, you know, she loves public speaking but hates the camera. It's just because the subconscious stuff that might be there for people who don't like public speaking in life, for you it comes up when the camera's there. And we'll come on to this later on. It's because people think the camera is cold, because you can't get feedback from a camera, particularly something like this webinar that I'm giving with you now. You know, I can't see your faces, I can't see you nodding or writing or sighing or going, what a load of rubbish, right? Then I don't have that ability to see your faces. But this is where how you see yourself then comes up, because what the camera does is it's a real mirror for what you really believe. So these are maybe some of the things that you might hate about seeing and hearing yourself. These are the common things that come up. You know, so I hate my voice, I don't like my accent. I get that a lot. I worked with someone who, she was like proper East End, and she said, she goes, I go into businesses to pitch, and because of the way I talk, people don't listen to me. She goes, but I've got a master's degree. Right? So she hated her voice because of what she thought other people would think, so then she wouldn't speak. But this thing, so it's whether it is, I had someone the other day, I hate my nose, I've got a big flat nose and a double chin. That was her thing. She's like, I think people are going to focus on that. My mouth does something weird. Now this is mine. So when I was an actress, that was my excuse. I have a weird thing that my lip kind of curls. So there's all these thoughts about how you look or how you sound, but there's also the thoughts that come up around, who am I to put myself out there? Who wants to hear what I have to say? When I did my first, I avoided Facebook Lives for a long time because I felt they were really egotistical. I was like, God, it's so like, who wants to sit and listen to me going on about something? It's like, my God, how much of a big ego have you got to have to do a Facebook Live? Okay. What is it for you? It could be, there are other people out there who do what I do and do it better. There's so many different thoughts, and this is just a thought piece for you. This is one of the exercises on the worksheet for later. But the thing is that you're not the only one. Right? So many people have these challenges. I had these challenges. I hated doing videos and doing Facebook Lives, and even the famous do. So I don't know if you have seen this quote before, but you know, there's a world famous actor who said, I don't see myself on film. When I do, I'm terribly conscious of what I choose to do, or what I chose to do and not do in a moment. And I'm always irritated, right? So this actor, what I chose to do and what I chose not to do in a moment, and I'm irritated because watching themselves back, they're like, oh, I could have made a better choice. I could have done that differently. So I'm always criticizing my performance. I've never even seen Room with a View. Which world famous Oscar nominated, BAFTA winning actor said this? Dame Judi Dench. So if you don't like being on camera, seeing yourself on camera, you are in really good company. You are in spectacular company. But does that stop her doing her job? No. So should it stop you doing your job? It's not about what people think of you. It's about what you have to share. And that's really important. And we're going to come to that in a moment. And I love the teddy bear thing. And yes, it's giving yourself something or someone to speak to directly. And we're going to come to that a little bit later as well. So it's about being able to imagine, to visualize who you are speaking to, because you're not just speaking to the camera. Like right now, I could quite easily, I'm sat here, just speaking to a camera. There's the occasional comment, so I know people are there, but even if this room was empty, I would need to be giving this with the same energy, the same amount of passion, because I know that even if this just impacts one of you and helps you speak about your business on camera with more confidence, with more clarity, with the courage of your convictions, without worrying about what other people might think of you, so that you get your business out there, so that people know who you are, they know what you do, they know that you solve their problem. Even if just one of you goes out there more confidently speaking about your business on camera after this, then I have done my job. And that is the energy to be in. But we let stuff stop us. We let the physical stuff stop us. We let the thoughts of, well, but there are other experts out there. There are people who are better than me. I invited someone to come and be an expert on my online course that I'm running at the moment. And I wanted an aromatherapy expert. And I said this to the lady, she goes, oh, I'm not an expert. And I was like, well, you know more than I do. So am I the expert on voice vibration sound healing in the world? No, that's what my online course is about at the moment. There are people up there. There's a guy called Jonathan Goldman who has literally written the book on sound healing, several of them. Am I an expert? Yes, because I know more than the people who I'm leading. So if for you one of those thoughts is, oh, but there are other people out there who know more than me, sometimes those people are too high up for your ideal client. Your client might think, oh goodness, I don't want to go to them because they're like just way too ahead of me. So they may want to go to you because you're more approachable, you're closer to where they are. And if you're offering a service, if you're a plumber or an electrician, that's, it's about the quality you give. And so you can either do the job or not. But then the difference becomes in how you approach it. So all those thoughts that might be stopping you from getting in front of a camera and putting your business out there, whether it's videos for your website, whether it's live streaming, whether it's going on LinkedIn and putting videos on there, all of these things are a way to have your message really clear out to the world. So don't let those thoughts and fears stop you. And here's another one, but I don't have the right equipment. Okay, so what technical or equipment or reasons do you create for not putting yourself out there? And I say reasons in inverted commas because those reasons are usually excuses. So what reasons do you give for putting it out there? I don't have a professional camera. I don't have a microphone. Okay, well, we've already solved that one earlier today. Yes, you do. I don't have a tripod. I don't have lighting. I don't have a backdrop. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to write what I need to say. I don't know how to get it on the right channels or to upload it to my website. All of these reasons are actually excuses because you do have the right equipment. What equipment do you really need? It's very simple. All you really need is a phone. That's it. Your phone. You have everything you need right in your hand every day. And you don't even need the microphone that comes with your phone because your phone's got a built-in microphone. So unless you're outside and it's windy, then I suggest you plug your microphone in because the wind noise is really annoying. So if one of your reasons has been, but I don't have the right equipment, then you really don't need it. There are things that you can best use what you have. It's all there. So to be lit, make sure that you are in front of a window or with the sun in front of you. So where I'm placed today, and I'm going to show you because I'm in, here we go, you get a tour of my bedroom. And if you can't, then I'll show you later. But so yeah, I'm in my bedroom. I've got two big windows in front of me. I actually have the light on in my room as well. So stand in front of the window, otherwise you're going to be in silhouette. Be heard. You don't need a mic, but if you want one, use the one that you came with your phone. It's great. Then you can post it on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or your website. But posting it on Facebook is really easy. Post it on your Facebook business page rather than your personal page. If you don't have a business page, you can, as a self-employed person, you can get away with sharing a little bit of your work stuff on your personal page, but it is against the Facebook rules. So make sure you are posting in there. And additional tools that might be useful later, a soft phone tripod, a ring light, a separate microphone. And I'm just going to come back onto this screen for now. So this is what I'm talking about. So a soft phone tripod, one of these. I say a soft one because this has got soft legs. A lot of the octopus ones have got plastic hard ones, and they don't grip so well. So this is a soft foam little mini tripod. You've put your phone in there. You can use it. You can have it there next to put your elbow into your arm, and you can talk from there, or you can have it a little bit held out. You can attach it to anything. This is what I like about it. It just, like on a door or a tree branch. So that's useful for later on down the line if you know you're going to be doing more. A ring light, you can get ring lights for your phone, and they just go around your phone. I don't have one of those because I think natural light is good. I have, because I do a lot of videos, I have invested in an 18, this is an 18-inch ring light. It wasn't vastly expensive, and it does come with its own tripod. I think it was about £80. And I do have, because I like photography, I have a digital SLR bridge camera, which I don't use very often. I usually use my phone because it's better quality sound. I have a little tripod. One of the best things you can invest in if you are going to be doing videos regularly, which don't have interaction, is a little mic. Now this one, when I plug it in to my laptop, I can't hear you speaking back, but this was my next thing that I was going to use if this one didn't work. And this is Rode earphones, microphone rather. You can get ones that are separate, that don't have a cord, but again, just quality of sound is key. So, because especially with videos, people usually, if they're a longer video, they actually listen to them more than they watch them. So all of this is really basic stuff that you can use, but just use your phone. Your phone is plenty. Again, later on, if you do a lot of them, then you may wish to get editing experience with iMovie or whatever app comes with your laptop for simple start-finish edits, but don't worry about that. The number of videos I've got out there where you can see me pressing the record button, people don't care about that. Or pay for support from someone who knows their stuff and they can do all the editing and stuff for you. But you do have the right equipment. All you need is your phone to be standing in light, to be heard, and put it out there. That's it. Post it. Post it on Facebook, post it on LinkedIn, post it on your website, wherever is important for you, wherever you're going to be seen. How? So for Facebook and YouTube, hold the camera horizontally, so landscape. For Instagram, hold it vertically. For LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. I think I've posted on both and it doesn't seem to matter so much, but normally I do it horizontally unless I'm doing Instagram, because it fills the screen, because most screens are that shape. It's only Instagram really where you hold it vertically. Hold it at a good arm's length so that you've got a little bit of distance. You want head and shoulders is a nice length, or a nice framing. And look at the camera, not the screen. So this is really important. And so I'm going to do this for you now. So right now, I'm going to stop the share so that you can see it more clearly. So I'm looking at the camera on my laptop. And it feels weird because we have that impersonal thing. We want to be looking at people's faces. We want to be able to see reactions. But by looking at the camera, I know that you see I'm looking at you. Now, if I went to look at Louise's face, for example, so I'm just moved down to where Louise's face is on my screen, and I know that what's happened to you is you've lost half of my eyes. So you can play with this with your phone. You can literally get your phone out and you can hold it in front of you and press record, and you just go looking at the camera, looking at the screen, looking at the camera, looking at the screen, looking at the camera, looking at the screen. Stop record, play it back to yourself, and you will see the difference. This is important for a couple of reasons. Firstly, your audience want to see your eyes. They want to connect with you. And secondly, especially with phones, if you're looking at the screen, that's when you get distracted by, oh God, my hair's in the way, and oh no, that's a mess, and oh, and then you start doing this, and you start having that, oh, I've got something in my teeth. So if you're looking at the camera rather than the screen, then you won't get distracted by you or what's happening behind you. The length of videos, oh great, thank you. So you're making a note of the comments and questions. Length of videos depends. You can do a tiny teach. So on Thursdays, I do Thursday tidbits, and then normally around 5 to 7 minutes is a specific short teach. Or for Facebook Lives, the longer you're on, the more people they tell you you're live. So it depends how it's going. You could go on specifically to do a tiny teach of, you know, anything from 2 to 5 minutes, and that's okay, you're leaving it there. But if you want to do a longer teach, so if you want to really explain something or you're sharing something, I was on a Facebook Live for an hour and a half the other day, and it's now been seen by over 1,500 people. It's got 300 interactions. People are going back and watching it. So for business, I'd say if you're doing a teach, keep it to 5 minutes. Anything up to 15 minutes, if people are really interested, they'll carry on watching. And it's a great auto filter. So let us go back to where we were. So how do you do it? So look at the camera, not the screen, and then post it. That's how you do it. You put it out there. But this is one of the challenges, is what do you want from your audience? This is one of the other things that people get blocked. It's like, oh, I have expectations of what I want from my audience. So I want them to agree with what I'm saying. I want them to show me by making comments, by giving me likes and hearts. What if my competitors steal what I'm putting out there? What if people don't like me? What if they don't leave the comments? What if I'm talking to no one? These are the questions that come up. So you're wanting from your audience, you're wanting them to give you validation. That's where this comes from. So it's like, if I put my videos out there, what if no one comments on it? What if someone says, what a load of rubbish? What if someone disagrees with me? So what you're wanting from your audience very often is validation. And I know that, right? I'm an actress. If I was lucky, I would get paid to act. And then I've been paid to do my job. And what do I want at the end of it? I want a round of applause. Thank you very much. Just to validate myself. But that isn't why you're doing your videos. So it's about shifting from what is it you're looking for from your audience to what you are giving to your audience. It's about creating connection. It's about you saying, sharing, giving what it is that you have to offer that can shift their life. What is it that you share with them that makes a difference in their life? Whether you are an accountant, a plumber, an holistic healer, whether you're a charity, whether you are running the business hub, like, it's about what you give. And for that, you need to be connected to what you're passionate about. And don't worry, this is all the stuff we're going to be doing in the worksheet. Why do you do what you do? What is the impact it has on your clients? Why is that important? It's about connecting to the passion behind your purpose. It's about knowing your purpose. Remember my mission at the beginning? When I'm unsure about getting in front of an audience or doing another video, I'm thinking, oh God, people must be so fed up. I've got so many lives out there. I've got so many videos out there. People must be like bored of hearing what I'm saying. It's to remind yourself that, for me, my mission is like, no, I'm not going to reach those 100 million people. I'm not going to impact those lives if I'm not consistent with my message. So the number of times in the next couple of weeks that I'm talking about how to speak on camera like you're speaking to a human being, but I'm speaking to different audiences. I'm speaking out there to a whole raft of people. And even if someone hears my message 3 times, you know, how many times have you heard the people who you love in your industry speak about things, and you go back to what they're saying because you go, oh yes, I'd forgotten that. I knew it, but I'd forgotten it. So if you're worried that you're going to be repeating yourself, don't worry, your audience love it. There's a great analogy that a lady who I love, she also does public speaking confidence in America, and we work similarly but in different ways and on different things, so we actually recommend each other to other people. She has this great analogy of, if you like a band, right, so she's a massive Bruce Springsteen fan, right? She bought his stuff on vinyl, and then she'd buy it on tape because she had it in her car so she could play her tape in the car. Then when CDs came out, she bought the same album on CD. And then she'd go and see him in concert, and she'd go and see him in concert again, and she'd buy the t-shirt. And then he wrote a book, and then he did a theatre thing where he read his book on stage, and she paid $2,000 for that ticket. She will pay again and again and again and again and again to hear the same stuff. Your audience will hear the same stuff in different ways. So putting yourself out there on camera, don't think it's just, oh, I did one video, I did one live on that topic already, so I don't have to do it again. It's sharing your message, and this is the energy you need to connect to when you're speaking to camera. It's important to connect to this energy when you're speaking in life. But when you're speaking to camera, because you don't have other people, especially with video, with lives you do, and in this webinar, you're commenting, so I'm getting a little bit of feedback. But particularly with video, when you're not getting feedback, and I'm not getting, you know, I can't see your faces. That's the feedback I love. So I can't see that right now here in this webinar. I am literally speaking to a camera. So it's really important that I am connected to the passion behind my purpose, that I'm connected to that mission, that I don't sound to you like I've been speaking about this for the last 2 weeks and I'm going to be speaking about this for the next 2 weeks. I can't afford to be thinking, oh, well, I've said this already. People might have heard it already. You can't afford to be thinking people will be bored of my message. So allow yourself to be connected to that passion behind your purpose, so that when you're speaking in front of the camera, when you hit record, you're in the right energy, you're in the right zone. So what do you want from your audience? Tell them. Okay, so this is a 3-parter, this what you want from your audience. There's the, what have you wanted from your audience? Have you actually, you've done a couple of videos, but you've not had the feedback that you wanted, so you've given up, right? Or you've had someone say, that's a load of nonsense. So you've gone, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna hide. Right? So there's the, what do you want from your audience? There's, what do you want from your audience? Actually, it's not about that, it's about what you can give them. But there is an element of what do you want from your audience that is really important for video and camera work. And that's telling them what you want from them. It's giving them a call to action. Know the reason you are doing your video or your live. And this is specific, right? It's because you are an expert in what you do. Even if you don't like the title expert, or you don't see yourself as an expert, you are, and your audience see you as the expert. It took me a while to step into accepting the leadership title and the expert, but you only have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of someone else for them to consider you the expert. So know the reason you're doing your video and be specific. So today we are specifically talking about how to speak with confidence about your business on camera. I have a ton of stuff I can talk about, but that is what we're doing. So know what you're talking about. Have no more than 3 things really to talk about. I mean, just one is fine, particularly for a short tip bit, then one thing is perfect. Tell your audience something useful that they can implement. So, you know, I've been giving you the practical tips about how to hold your camera, about where to look, giving you stuff that you can implement straight away. And we might be doing that later. Ask your audience what else they'd like to know. So right at the beginning, I said, if there's any questions you have, make sure you put them in the Q&A box so that I can know, so that when we go into the next session, I'll be able to answer them for you. So I asked you what you wanted to know. Share your questions with me. And end with a simple call to action. So tell them what you want from them. And a simple call to action is something like, if it's in a social media space, leave your comments or questions below. Let me know what you think. How do you deal with this? In your past experience, what has stopped you from this? That's a comment below. You could tell them, please share this post if you found it useful. Right? So you're telling your audience what you want from them. If you want to know more, email me on, or I've got a free top 10 tips sheet to give you at the end of this, which, surprise, surprise, I have. If you would like your free top 10 tips for talking, then click the link or go to this space on my website. So it's really important with camera and video work that at the end, you tell them what you want from them. Tell them what action they can take. Ask them for their comments. Because if you forget to do that, they'll go, oh, well, that was useful, good, great. And then the likelihood of you hearing from them again is slim. Even like those 1,500 people who had seen a part of my video in that group the other day, you know, there were 300 comments. So, but they were made by 86 people. So you see how the numbers go down. 1,500, 386. So those 86 people are the ones who I know really liked what I was sharing, because they either gave it a like or a heart or a funny face or a wow, or they actually bothered to write a comment. So it's a way of you knowing who this is hitting and where it's working. So ask your audience. And why is all this? It's because it's all about finding your voice. And this is my whole thing. Because when you find your true voice and you free that voice, you liberate not just your life, but you also boost your business. So if you have a clear message like I do with this, okay, so find your voice, free your voice, liberate your life is my normal thing. But when I'm speaking to small business owners, I always put in the and boost your business, because when you free your voice, when you start putting yourself out there, then people will start coming to you. So if you want to follow me, if you want to find out more about me, then this is me. On LinkedIn, I'm Judith Quin Vocal Confidence. On Facebook and Instagram, it's @yourwholevoice. Or you can simply contact me with connect@yourwholevoice.com. And we're going to be coming back in here in 10 minutes with the worksheet session. So my call to action for you is, please come back in 10 minutes, not into this room, into the Zoom room where we're going to be able to put you into groups. And you've been sent the link, and I'm sure Stuart is probably going to put it, or Gareth is going to put it up in the chat box as well. So come back and join us in 10 minutes where we're going to go through the worksheet, and you can really start figuring out what it is that you need to share when you next do a video or go live.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that, Judith. I was sat here I've made a load of notes myself. It's brilliant to get somebody who's got such a professional attitude to presenting and all those little tips. I loved Tiny Teach. I love that. Just like a little bite-sized nugget as another one I heard, but Tiny Teach, I really like that. And we had some great comments from the various attendees. Julie Budge, who's a guest today, said that she's having to change the total way they operate, and getting used to live chat, Zoom chat is now something they're going to have to learn to do very fast. But she says she loves public speaking and hates herself on the camera. And I've heard that quite a lot. There's a lot of tension between not minding being there broadcasting live in a room, but then you put a camera on you and it falls apart, and I've seen it happen. So that is a big problem. Suzanne Driver said she puts a teddy bear next to the computer.
I saw that. I loved that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done, Suzanne. That's great. But anything that helps, really, seriously. One of the things that I did was I printed out a photograph of a face and a cutout for where one of the eyes was, and I put that over the camera lens so that I could look like I was, it reminded me to look into the camera rather than off to the side or down over there. So anything that helps you focus on what it is you're doing is great. Shumi saying that she wants to get over how she looks at the moment and to look more, she said, yummy mummy. So I say, well, you know, there's a bit of pampering, a little bit of makeup, some good lighting. Everybody looks fantastic. Graham asked me where I had my hair done. I haven't had a haircut since January, believe it or not. Well, who's been out?
And we'll come to that how you look thing. So, you know, I've got my roots, they're there. I have no makeup on. I deliberately have no makeup on because it's that thing of, you know, I've done lives and videos, especially responding to people in Facebook groups where I've seen someone's question and I'm like, if I don't answer this now, I'm not going to answer it. And I have been in a towel and my hair in silver foil because I've been doing my roots.
It's so authentic though, isn't it? Isn't it really kind of like immediate, and they know that you're giving them the best of you, if not in the best package.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because, and we're going to come to this in the worksheet, and I know we want to go and have a break. You want to have a pee and a cup of tea, but it's not about you, and your audience do not care about you. And I think I'm coming back in October, and we're going to be talking more about that. Your audience don't care about what you look like. They care about what you're sharing with them and how you can positively impact their life.
Well, we're going to come back, like we say, in 10 minutes time. Please, everybody, just be aware that we're not in this session. We are coming back in 10 minutes, but we're starting a new session. Like I say, this is a webinar. We'll be starting a meeting and you will all be interactive. Please mute your microphone though, so that we don't just have a cacophony of people coughing, talking, dogs barking outside and all the rest of it. So this session will end. Thank you so much. Please put a yes or a 1 in the chat box if you've enjoyed today's session. Thank you so much, Judith. We will see you the other side of the coffee break and
in the new Zoom room.
In the new Zoom room. So thank you very much. We've captured all of your questions and comments, so don't think that those are going to be lost. We're going to make sure that we've got all of those saved off, and we'll be coming back with those after the break. So Dave, I know you've asked some questions and Graham made some mentions, Suzanne did. We've got all of those questions and we will make sure that they are saved and brought over into the new session. So thank you very much. Goodbye everybody, and we'll see you in 10 minutes.
The difference that you make in other people's lives. So for you as business people, that is what's important.
And I would suggest that if you're having performance anxiety, you're coming at it from slightly the wrong angle. You shouldn't be performing, you should just be being and present, and who you are is who you are. I watch a lot of YouTube, and at the moment I'm getting really into woodworking videos, and you put aside all of your professional training and experience when it's just a guy in a workshop showing you how to make a particular joint. He's not a presenter, he's not a trained performer, but his knowledge is being transferred amazingly well by him showing you, you know, how he's doing this. So I would say don't worry about any performance anxiety and just kind of get on with it.
Yeah, you're not a performer, and this is really important because part of one of the technical challenges I put up there was I don't know what to say. I don't know how to write the script. You're not an actor. You don't need a script.
But hopefully the workbook session, they'll be flying by the end of it. They can work through that.
Exactly.
But there was another comment that we got from John and Fiona Ryland saying that since they became involved in amateur dramatics, they've started gaining confidence.
Yeah.
So there is that element of you gain confidence by performing and then to bring it back to become real.
Yes. So, and it's also about, you're just used to putting yourself out there more.
Yeah.
You're used to taking that risk. So the more you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
the more you'll get that realization. So that, you know, what do you want from your audience? Oh, well, it's okay for me to be here. The more you put yourself out there, the more you will get people saying, oh, thank you. The first time I did a Facebook Live, and I was talking away, and I was thinking, God, no one's on, no one's interacting. I think there were 3 people, but no one was commenting. And then an hour later, there was a comment, and someone said, oh, thank you so much for doing this today. You said exactly what I needed to hear.
Wonderful.
So especially with lives, it's not about now. Like, I get comments on, there was someone commented on something I did 1.5 years ago the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So remember, when you're putting your content out there, it might, you know, it may not hit someone today, but it might in a year.
Absolutely. And the other resource, as well as amateur dramatics, there are plenty of Amdram groups around that you can join if you want to get a little bit of more experience. But there's also the Public Speakers Association, where you can go and learn how to, you know, stand on a stage. As Sheila Lemon said, when she had to create a lectern, she made it out of a table, the dog's food box, a box file, and 2 boxes of tea bags. So if you're practicing, it doesn't.
Sheila.
That's a great image, great visual image.
I've got my laptop right now on a big cardboard box and a little cardboard box.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as long as it works for you, whatever works. You don't have to have hundreds and thousands of pounds worth of professional equipment.
No.
I'm conscious of time. I think we've now got a goodly amount of people in the room. Hello there, Esther, Shumi, Sarah, Liz. We've been joined by Emma and Claire from the BizHub team. Give us a wave, Emma, Claire, fabulous. Oh, and Emma Bateman's there as well. Hello. So, shall we get on with the workbook session?
Yes. Were there a specific question from the Q&A questions that I just...
Oh, there was. Yeah. If I could just raise one from Suzanne Driver. She said, I'm interested in gesticulation when you're delivering a webinar or a training session. When she delivers training in person, she uses her hands a lot. What do you think about continuing to do this? And does it show your personality, or is it off-putting? She's not sure what's best.
So it's be you. So I'm quite a gesticulator as well. But the thing is, especially in something like this, you want to be head and shoulders. So actually, if you're gesticulating down here, which, you know, I was quite a bit, then people can't see that anyway. But it keeps your energy as your energy. The other thing is, if you know that there is something important that you need your hands to be seen, to remember that they're going to be higher than you usually have them. So make sure that you can see them. So that's what I would say. If it helps you keep your energy, then, you know, whatever your hands are doing here, it helps drive that energy. Unless you're like this, which is just annoying, then yeah, exactly, Sarah. Yes.
Does that answer your question, Suzanne?
Hopefully Suzanne has got what she needs out of that. Dave from Ace Cleaning, thank you, Dave. He asked, how long should a business video be before the listener gets bored and switches off? Is there an optimum length of time?
So I did address that in the webinar, but in case anyone missed it, it depends. If you're doing a tiny teach or a tidbit, then about 5 minutes. But, you know, if you're delivering a piece and people are with you, so on a video, I would keep videos, depending on where you are. You know, YouTube videos, the optimum is about 15 minutes on YouTube, 15 to 20 minutes. On Facebook, if you're doing a live, that can go longer, but on Facebook for a video, it's about 3 to 5 minutes. On your website, again, it depends. You only want little bits on your website probably. So again, under 3 minutes, sort of 2 minutes is really good. Under 3 minutes is great. So it depends where you are. In YouTube and LinkedIn, you can do longer teachy pieces. So hopefully that's useful.
Just on a quick question on that, Dave. Yes, I did get your email about a video testimonial, and I will do one. And after this, I'm going to be fabulous, darling.
I
so much better.
I see we've been joined by Julie. Hello, Julie, and Alistair, and Terry. Terry's there. He's popped in. Hi there, guys. Dave actually had a quick follow-up question.
Yep.
And it's quite relevant to what we've been seeing with the government briefings every day. How often should you repeat your key message during a presentation, such as stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives, repeated to great effect?
Yeah.
I think he says he thinks the whole country knows that by now, but when does it become annoying to the listener, or doesn't it matter?
It depends on your listener, and that really is the whole piece around your ideal client. So how often you can repeat your message through different videos all the time. In one video or live, it depends on the message. I don't know how many times I mentioned, you know, looking at the camera, being confident in front of the camera, connecting to your whole self when you're talking about the passion behind your purpose. So you can keep dropping the key elements in. If you are starting to go, oh God, I'm saying it too much, you're probably saying it too much.
Yes, yeah, that's a point. But if it's a little bit like whenever you're doing any marketing, any of the key points you should repeat a number of times to ensure that your target audience at least hears it once. Because if you say it once and they were distracted, especially your call to action, you know, very clear call to action at the end, but you should be telling them what they need to be doing as you go through.
Yes.
If they were distracted for a second and they've missed it, then that's it. That's the end of the effectiveness of that video.
And you can say, I say all the time, I was like, look, I bang on about being connected to your deepest truth and your higher purpose. If you've heard me before, you've heard me bang on about this, right? So you can say, I know I say this a lot, but it's because it's important. So
Fantastic.
you can address it in that way.
Well, I think that's all of us. I didn't say hello to Fiona and John Ryland. Hello, Fiona. Hi there, John.
Cool. I've just seen this last question come in from Fiona and John. We'll do that and then we'll go straight onto the worksheets, and then there is space for more Q&A at the end, so don't panic, people, if something else comes up for you. Occasionally live video gets flipped to left to right. What's the best way to prevent this? So I'm assuming, give me a thumbs up. Are you talking on Facebook, Fiona and John? Yeah, excellent. Facebook will only allow you to do it one way. So it's the way that you have your camera. So if you've got your camera the other way, then that's why it would flip. It shouldn't do it elsewhere. Otherwise, it's just something that's going on. If you've got make sure you've got your phone on the, what does it call it on here? Rotate. So auto rotate. Make sure you've got it set horizontally, the side you like the camera. I normally have the camera to the right because that then gives the best image, and hold it there. If you try to change it, it will often say, do not rotate your camera. If it does it, then that's some weird Facebook phone thing that I don't have the technical knowledge about.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's all the questions from part one covered. Keen to press on and make sure that the workbook gets done. So over to you, Judith, with the workbook. Has everybody got the workbook? You've all managed to get the workbook, download it, print it out. Give me a thumbs up if you've got it. You wave it at the screen. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, guys.
So
fabulous. Over to Judith.
So we have, how many people have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. We've got 20 people in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 groups of 4.
Yeah.
Is that the easiest thing to do? And I'll let, who's going to be putting people into?
Gareth.
So I've done it. So I've got 6 groups of 3.
Fabulous.
Yes, there's 24 people in.
Fab. So what I want you to do we're just going to give, well, how long have we got? We have got 45 minutes for the whole thing. We want, so it's just going to be 5 minutes. And just to go through the first section. So writing down for yourself what you hate about seeing and hearing yourself on camera. I've put them into the 3 groups because they're the 3 that tend to come up. So write them down and then just quickly share with each other what it is that comes up for you. And in that sharing, you will find that actually either more stuff comes out and you'll get the responses and reactions from people, and hopefully, and the support.
So I'm sorry, Judith, just to be clear, are we just doing question one?
Just do question one for
in
now.
the first 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Share the link to download the workbook. Gareth, is that a you thing?
Yep, just sending the link there. So it's a non-clickable, but if you copy that link and paste it into your web browser, that will then give you the workbook.
Yeah. So the first question is, what are the, and you don't need it, I'll tell you the question. It's, what are the things you hate about seeing or hearing about yourself on camera? What are the things you think other people are thinking about you? So I'll let Gareth put us into the teams.
Gareth, did you put the link to everyone? Because I'm not seeing it in the chat.
No, I just replied to Alistair. Hold on. There you go.
There we are. It's also available in the Facebook members only group. So
yeah.
And then Gareth, if you can bring us out of the groups at 2 minutes past 11, that would be great.
Yeah, that's fine. I've set a timer on my phone. So enjoy, everyone.
Okay. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
A lesson on how to use Zoom might be good.
There is a video that I did.
Oh, is that all right?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So if you have a look, it's on our YouTube channel, and we put it out, which is how to Zoom. Right, here we go. Everyone's starting to come back now.
Oh, we're coming back.
Okay, so
Brilliant.
That was brutal.
We're just
5 minutes. Yay!
Oh, that was a quick 5 minutes.
Oh, we have to mute again, don't we?
yeah, 5 minutes is quick. But I'd just like a little, who wants to share something that came up for them, or that they got a realization from one of your teammates? Like, you think you come across the one way and everyone else went, what?
anyone want to comment?
Shanga?
Shania. Yeah, Shana, unmute yourself.
Hi, yeah, no, I just wanted to say it became really apparent as we talked that my own concerns and those of one of the other people, you know, weren't shared by the third person who saw it completely differently, and also that recognition that when we're being authentic, when we're ourselves, and when we're relaxed, we come across so much better anyway. So it's about remembering all of those things, I think.
Yay, lovely. And Sarah Bass, you were waving, so unmute yourself.
I totally agree. I think everything the three of us said about ourselves, none of the other people thought that was, you know, that was the reality. And it is about relaxing. It is just a little bit of relaxation and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anything that you want to share, or that came up for you, or that came up in your group?
Well, I'll say something. I said that I don't mind talking. I don't mind being videoed. That's not a problem to me. I can't stand the way I sound, or if I watch myself back on a video. Hate it. Hate it.
And what was the response from other people in the room?
Just, well, they had the same feeling themselves, but, you know, that is what I sound like, and I need to just face facts.
Yeah, and it's so this is really common. It's really, like, you know, I don't know an actor who loves watching themselves back on screen. Right? So the Judi Dench quote, I can be like, there's things that I go, oh my God, like I can tell sometimes I was like, oh, actually I was giving a good performance, but it takes time. But our voice, we can change our voice, and sometimes it's important. So if we know, depending on the audience we're talking to, I know that if I'm like completely in hyper, full on, like determined Judith mode, and I'm talking about my vocal confidence 2-day workshop, and my audience are generally shyer people, more introverted people, I know that that energy is too much and too big for them. So I know that I need to slow down. So often it's not about your physical voice, which you can shift if you really think it's getting in the way, but it's about the how. and the who you're speaking to. So Sumi, you have something to say.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say this worksheet has been really helpful because, and also the talk that we've just had, because talking to the others, again, just like everybody else, what we thought was our perception isn't shared by everybody else. We, you know, we didn't even notice some of these things until people brought it out, and then we discarded it. But for me, I realized, because I'm the one that wrote about being the saggy, haggy, baggy, you know, sort of thing, and less slummy and more yummy, because that's my project for this year. When I'm 50 in September, I wanted to be a bit more like I was about 20 years ago, which isn't going to happen. But I really enjoy public speaking. I've been doing it all my life, so I enjoy getting in front of stages. But I realize I've been using the excuse of how I look and how I feel compared to the reality of it, because when people hear me, they don't seem to go on about the things that I do. So actually, when I was writing this down, and then with all the Zoom that's been happening over the last few weeks, and I've been out there and I've been hosting webinars and mastermind and all sorts of things, and I realized that actually it was just fake. I was kidding myself. So you've made me really address that actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, that when I actually put down on paper what I do, I'm doing it all the time, like you, not quite in the towel and the thing yet, but pretty close to it, where I have, because I don't wear makeup, and I have had sessions where, you know, you see warts and all. So thank you for just actually pointing out that it has been a bit of an excuse not to get things done. And now I can't really use that as an excuse anymore.
Love that. And it is all about, this is the deep work that I do with my clients all the time. So it's our perception of ourself, and it's perception. And particularly with the deep stuff that I do around helping people find their voice, it's finding which version of you, because there's always a younger version of you that has those beliefs, and it's different in different situations. So there's a guy who I worked with in an asset management company, and his thing was, I don't want to appear foolish, right? So it's like, okay, where does that thing of you're foolish come from? So we all have that different bit inside of us. It's like, oh, and that fills us up. But it's our perception, and it's very often not even our current perception of ourselves. It's the labels that we've had put on us through life. So that's where this comes from. And it's too individual and too deep to go into in this group workshop, but hopefully, as Sumi was saying, you're starting to go, oh, and actually that's not true. So the second thing on the worksheet, and we're going to stay in this big group for this one, is the equipment excuses. So we all know that all you really need is your mobile phone. Okay, that's it. But if any of you had any questions about equipment and what equipment you're waiting for, I thought I'd leave this as a group one. So who has any questions about any equipment excuses that you might have been making or that you want? So Sheila, unmute yourself.
Yes, I know that I do definitely need to get what you call that nice soft bendy little tripod, because yes, I'm going to get one of those. I think once I got that, I'm set, because there's a lot of times where I'd like the video to be done without me holding it, and at the moment all I've got is with a husband with only one functioning arm, and it doesn't work very well because he was right-handed and now it's left-handed, and the only time he took a picture of me, he got one of these massive, lots of little shuttery shots, and I thought that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I got that sorted.
So these are about £20. You can get some cheaper. Be careful. Make sure you check the length, because some of them, like this one is, I don't know how long that is. We're going to go with
probably about
9 inches, 8 or 9 inches. Be careful, because some of them are mini tripods, so they're only about 2 inches high.
No,
so you want the 8 or 9 inches.
Yes, thank you.
Any other equipment questions or feedback or excuses you've been making?
I think I've always got one, is lighting. In these videos, Zooms that we've been doing, it's been great, but today there's no sunlight, so I'm like, it looks dull today, and it's kind of just getting that lighting right, and without going to the expense of having all, buy lots of lights.
And you don't need to, like I said, just if you can, just put yourself in front of a window. That is the simplest way. If you're doing it at night, like I eventually did buy this because I do so many videos, because I'm all about voice and being seen and being heard. But I'm sure you've got little desk lamps Like before I got that thing, I would have desk lamps at weird angles, you know, on boxes and on things. I'm like, right, is that the right angle? Is that the right angle? Turn the main light on. Where can I stand? That there's, you know, so it's just making sure you don't have to get the posh equipment. You can just do it with desk lights.
As we've heard today, sound is actually far more important than having perfect visuals.
Yes.
Having good visuals is great, but I've done a lot of work over the years with broadcast professionals, and the sound guy gets way more attention than pretty much anybody else, because it needs to be perfect.
Yeah, the sound, but your sound doesn't need to be perfect.
No.
Just don't want anyone going into perfection poverty here, right? Perfection is paralysis and poverty.
But
so,
you don't crackly and noisy.
Yeah, but that's why I say phone, speak to the mic, will be perfectly enough. Terry, yes.
It's just that as a photographer, obviously I've got all sorts of bits and pieces, but I'm sat here, window to one side and a little lamp to the other, and that's what you're seeing.
Yep.
With my iPad. So although you can have the equipment, you don't necessarily need it for this sort of videoing.
Yeah, and Terry's also got a halo.
Just so you see, it's actually a fan.
It's beautiful. Great. So you know all you need equipment-wise is your phone. Get out there, don't use that as an excuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to break into our rooms again for question 3. We can go, we'll go 6 minutes this time. And it's what are you looking for from your audience? So just briefly on that, like what have I been looking for in way of validation? And then the important thing for you to do on this part of the worksheet is the 5 things that ignite your passion about what you are and who you do, and who you serve. So let us break into that, and then we can share. So what have you been looking for validation? What are the things you're like, oh, but I just hate it when no one leaves a comment, or that no one phones me when I tell them to phone me. So admit to yourself what those things are, but then focus on what are your passions. What is the things that get your passion going? So I shall leave it to Gareth to break us out.
Oh, here we go. 7, 6, 5.
There we go.
There we go.
Everybody's back.
Back, everybody.
I'm back in the room.
Yay.
Oh, that was shocking.
So, anyone want to share anything that you saw happen? Specifically, what I want you to share is when you saw people talking about what they're passionate about, what did you notice in how they came across on video? So who wants to share? Oh, Terry, yep. So unmute yourself, Terry.
Now I am. That's better. Well, I did see that people come alive more when you start talking about your own product or your own service or what you're trying to portray, rather than the nerves that people show beforehand.
Yes. Lovely. That sums it up perfectly. Anyone else? Suzanne, is that a tentative, or are you just moving your arm?
I think Sarah waved.
Yep, Sarah.
I think when I think back just on this last conversation, I'm thinking it's natural to want validation. That's a big step.
Yep.
And almost I think I was getting my lovely team, my lovely breakout people to validate what my issues are, almost, you know, to say, oh no, it's not, and so on. And I do think, again, you need some real clarity. You really do need to work on it.
Yeah. And it is natural to want validation, and it's good to have validation. You know, like I said, bloody actress, right? I've done my job, give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. Oh, yay, I exist. Oh, thank you, Emma. And it's good, right? In the 1 Minute Manager, the Ken Blanchard book, he says, you know, catch people doing things well and tell them, because people work better when they get the validation. But if that's what you're looking for from your audience, it's a different energy rather than when you're speaking about what you're passionate about. So if you probably didn't have time in that to do the fill in the blanks thing. But it's really useful to go and do that exercise, second part of part 3. You know, I'm not an actor, so I am whatever you are. I'm passionate about this, and I know the work I do helps people with whatever their problem is, because, and then put in the proof, because I've seen my client go from wanting to resign to becoming because he hated his manager, to becoming his manager's right-hand man. Right? That's one of my clients. So I could put tons of your proof in there. Right? And he was going to resign, and he wasn't speaking up. He didn't say what the problem was. As soon as he said what the problem was, their relationship completely changed, and they solved all the problems. So make sure you go back and fill that out at a later date. So who are you speaking to? And again, this is probably one for, we're going to do a very quick breakout. So it is going to be a 5-minute breakout of who are you speaking to, so that you can share, you know, what is missing in your clients' customers' lives, what they're going through that you enhance, improve, remove, or solve. And you can use those words when you're doing your videos. Do you need to enhance? Do you need to improve? Do you need to resolve? I can solve that for you. That's language you can use. What are your clients or your customers fed up with? Right? On my welcome video on my website, I say, are you done with not speaking up in team meetings? Are you done with people not hearing you? Are you done with are you over? Right, so what are your clients, your customers over? What do they want? What do they need? So I'll give you just 5 minutes in the breakout group to go through and really get some clarity on that for you, and so that you're starting. Do you see here what we're doing is we're building content for some of your videos? You see? Clever stuff, this. Right, Gareth, I'll see you later. See you. Enjoy your time. Okay. So hopefully you've now all got some positivity about yourself, and there was another little bit in there in section 3 about the qualities that you have. So there's an exercise that I've got a couple of bits of homework for you, so you could put a message out there. If you are one of those people who goes, oh, I don't know what people see in me, you've got an amazing network of people right here who you can go, what are the good qualities that you see in me, or the work that I do, or that my business provides? Or you could go out, if you're feeling brave, and ask your past clients, customers, what is it that you get from me or the business? So then those qualities, and by qualities I mean working with you, I know I'm safe. I know your company provides the knowledge. I know that you are warm. I feel, so it's those qualities that you're looking for, because when you are putting your message out there to your customers, to your clients, it's the qualities that they value that will resonate with them. So by doing that little bit of exercise, I just remembered I forgot to say after we did session 3, or the third bit, is to put that out there and say, what are the qualities that you see I have? So if you're someone who works one-to-one, and if you're running your business, what are the qualities that our business provides? What does it give you? So then again, you'll be gleaning more information of what your clients and customers need, but also on how you're perceived. So again, that perception piece that we were talking about, we go, oh, wow, people think we're warm. People think I'm kind. People think I am confident, I'm strong, and that's what they value. And so in that piece that you were just doing now, hopefully you've got that more of an element, because hopefully you've all done, ideal client work, or however you want to produce it. But this is more of where they are mentally, the who you're speaking to, the what's missing, what are they going through, what are they fed up with. So I don't have an ideal client as in, whatever gender, age range, whatever, but my ideal client is at a point where they are done with not stepping up to the level they need to. They're done with being okay with public speaking, but not really liking it. They're done with feeling judged when they speak on camera, whatever it is. So for me, that's the core element of my ideal client. They need to be expressing themselves with more confidence. They need to be asking for help. They need to be able to delegate better. So what is it in your client, in your customers, that is there for them, that is the core for you? So before we go into just the last couple of minutes of Q&A, in fact, no, we're going to do that, and then I'm going to leave you the last thing. So any questions that have come up? It's now time for anything that you want to ask. Julie Budge.
Julie.
Hi. One of the things, and I think I missed a bit about this earlier, is that obviously I got all excited, did this when we went into lockdown. I thought I'll do a quick 60-second video to show people that we're running a helpline and we're running live chat. So I put behind me my pop-up thing, what do you call them, the banner. Then when I put the video onto Facebook, of course, the banner was the other way around.
Yes.
So then I got somebody to switch the whole thing around to then I was all out of kink. So they switched it around for me so that the banner was right, but then I was out of kink with what I was saying, bizarrely, even though you switch yourself around.
There is
words come out wrong.
There is a technical thing you can do. I know you can do it with an iPhone. I have an Android. So I know there is something you can do with that, but I don't know how to solve that. So maybe there's, Gareth is nodding his head. It looks like he'll be able to tell you how to do that.
Yeah, so there's a setting in your camera on your phone that when you go in, I'll actually figure it out and find it out.
Thank you.
Because I can't remember exactly where it is, but basically it's so that it gives you a view that you can take a picture as you see it or take a picture as the phone sees it. So and it literally is, you just tick a button and it's done on an Android.
All right, that would be amazing.
Yeah, literally, it's so easy. It's like mirror. I think it's called like mirror image or something.
Yeah, because it's all about
Gareth will share that. Gareth will share that with people. So lovely, thank you. Is there any other questions? I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat here. Nope. Lovely. So, is there any? Yes, Fiona and John. Unmute yourselves.
Yeah, no, just a very simple question. I noticed some people use an artificial background. Last time we downloaded software to do an artificial background, you had to have a blank wall that was a different colour from yourself, while half of you disappeared.
Yep.
What is the trick for an easy artificial background?
Doopy-doo. So, it depends. It sometimes depends on. There we go. Ta-da! It's like magic. It depends on your computer processing. So in the Zoom rooms, it very much depends on your computer processing capability. In Zoom, this is my bedroom wall, which is a slightly grey green, which is why I use it. You can go into Zoom on choose virtual background, then you choose the background, and there's a little box that comes up where you can match the colour of the wall beneath you. But it doesn't work on all. Fabulous, Gareth. It doesn't work on all. It depends on the processing capability of your computer and how even the color is behind you. But if you go into, it's only, can't do it on your phone. On the video, if you've got it on your laptop, next to the video there's a little arrow and then it says choose virtual background. So you click on that, you pick the background, and then a little square will come up. So if I click somewhere else, like if I clicked, here you go. So I just clicked on my dress, which means my dress now becomes the color that you can't see.
Sarah has suddenly gone to the Bahamas, Barbados.
Yeah. So that's why. So, and it did, yeah. Oh, it depends on the hardware. Sorry, yes, thank you, Sheila. And it depended on something. Simi has disappeared on the moon. So we've got like 2 minutes left. So are there any other burning questions before I give you your homework? Okay. Oh, Sarah, yep. Unmute yourself. Sorry, Angie, do you have one as well?
when you were talking a little bit earlier about how often you say something, realistically, if you're going to start getting more into your video, how often would you say would be the minimum to start making it more consistent? Because you could go out and just do 5 and say, right, dive in. But realistically, how many would you say you need to do to sort of get going and start with it?
As in to how often you put your videos out there or your lives out there? That depends entirely on you and what works for you, but consistency is key. So I have my Thursday tidbits, which go out most Thursdays, but I didn't do one yesterday. But then, you know, if you get into the point where you're doing them regularly, then people miss them if they're not there. So if you miss it for a week, you go, so sorry, I missed last week, but here it is. So I do Thursday tidbits, and I have my midweek meditation. And so you can pick what you want. So do what works for you. You could do, this week, I'm going to go live every day at, and pick a time. So I'm going to go live every day. I know the Signal Hub are doing a Facebook Live every day at the same time. Midday.
It's 12 o'clock every day. Just going to jump,
midday every day. So you can say, I'm going to go live this week. I'm going to go live at 1 o'clock every day for 15 minutes, and I am going to speak on. And you could either do, you know, I'm going to give you a tip every day, or, you know, so you have a structure. But do what works for you at a time that works for you, because otherwise it will feel like an obligation and you'll be like about it. So if once a week is good for you, do it once a week. And then if you're feeling like you're getting it, you're like, actually, this week I'm going to go live every day at this time. And again, make sure you know your audience, when your audience most likely to be watching. So if your audience are people who are going to be working still, they may be, you want to do it for 5 minutes at lunchtime, catch them at 1 p.m. Or you might want to do it at 7 p.m. But if they're parents, how old are their children? Like, you might want to do it at 8 p.m. If you're speaking to people who are furloughed, if most of your clients at the moment are furloughed, you know, you might want to go, actually, I'm going to do it at 10 a.m. because they're going to be sleeping in, and then they're going to be, so pick for your audience as well, but whatever works for you. So thank you all so much.
Was there any other question? Did Angie have a question? Did somebody else have a question?
No, she said she didn't. No.
Oh, okay.
So I have a piece of homework for you, and it is part 5 on your worksheet. So take action and use your imagination. Who is your perfect client? Your favorite client? And do whatever you need to do. Put your teddy bear by the camera, get a picture of you know, your favorite ideal person who you think is going to be, and cut out their eye and put it on the thing. Imagine that person behind the camera, one person. Use your imagination. What would it feel like if you had the opportunity to speak to them, your perfect customer, your perfect client, and share with them, and know that they are there? It's them before they worked with you. So you're speaking, you know the results they're going to do, and then do it. So my mission, should you choose to accept it, is for you to just do a video or a live today.
Oh, how scary is that? Who's feeling the pressure now? Who, put your hand up if you're feeling pressure.
You know, you could do it, if you're doing a video, you could share it in the Signal Hub, right? It's a space where, you know you're going to get that validation piece.
Yeah, put a link to it in the Facebook group, or tag us in one of the comments.
Post it under today's, under today's 12 o'clock live. You can post videos in Facebook. It doesn't have to be long. No. Okay, so use what we've done today, the passion behind your purpose, who you're speaking to, and let yourself know that if you're getting your message out there, people will hear. If you're not, they'll think you've disappeared. And your words make waves. So why not speak with the power of your whole voice?
Fantastic. Wonderful. What a great session. Give her a round of applause, everyone.
Hey, well done.
Wonderful. Thank you. There's your round of applause. If you have any further questions or any comments, please go to the Facebook group, put them in there, and we'll forward them to Judith. Judith, where can they get hold of you?
Yeah.
How do they get hold of you?
So if you want, you can just connect with me at connect@yourwholevoice.com. It's on the worksheets. All my contact details are there. My phone number is there, also on your worksheet. There is the link for where you can go and get your free top 10 tips for talking. It comes either as a PDF, or if you like learning by video, obviously you can download the video. I have different hair, but it's still me. Or obviously, if you want to talk with me about, actually, I know I need this, then you can book a complimentary clarity call with me and say, actually, Judith, I want to talk to you about how you work and what you do. And there's a free 20-minute clarity call. I don't do heavy sales. It's not my style. So please, feel free, book that, and we can work out what would be right for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Judith. A really interesting session and a new type of style of session. Have you liked this? Give us a 1 in the chat box if you've liked it. I'm getting thumbs up. Great. Well, we will be doing more of this style if the content is appropriate. Thank you so much. I'm just going to finish up the session now. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you for coming and attending. And there it is. There's the gong to tell us that we've reached the time. Louise, what was your biggest takeaway?
Not to care so much about how I look, more about how I need to deliver and get the message across.
You look gorgeous and you sound great.
Ah, Stu, you're too good.
An amazing co-host. Amazing co-host. Oh, the gong's gone again. Telling us to get on with it. Don't forget, people, please go to signalborden.org for all of the information. You can go to the /newsflash, get all of the information that we're giving about the current situation. Thanks to all our guests for coming. Please, Julie, you will be getting a email after this, and our community would love to meet you again and talk to you about your business. Thank you so much for coming. It's, as you've seen, a friendly, warm community. Next week is mini mastermind, so it's a members only session. We've got a few spaces in the afternoon, and that's all, folks. Is all. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Really have a great weekend, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Don't forget, it's Beer Friday later. Look in the group for that. All the best.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Very good.